take Forrest Whitaker out of it and just grab anybody at a GameStop and hand him a katana would have been just as good in probably better form.
That's how it is. Here we go. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pen move to shape the breakthrough. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in the session. I'm not trying to make a difference. Maybe some pocket change. I'm content with the...
Welcome to Drunkcast Live.
Hey!
Episode 247 on Drunkcast Style. I'm Travis.
I'm Dylan.
We're a podcast that takes place in Austin, Texas. We like to hang out at Don's Depot and talk to interesting people about the things that have happened over the week. You can find more of our foibles at www. I don't know why I was going to say this. It's like it's 2001. Drunkcastlive.com. Go to that website. You can see all the episodes that we put out, and you can even sign up for a newsletter and get some things that... The things that we don't get the chance to talk about are in a newsletter that our own Chris Lloyd puts together, our ombuds person. And speaking of that, it's Chris Lloyd over here.
It's me.
One of our guests tonight.
Hey.
What's going on, Chris?
You know, just hanging out, doing my thing.
That's great. Playing
Having a
Nintendo.
drink. Right.
Having a drink.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Where I spend most of my days.
Yeah, right. Maxing out. Too cool.
Right.
Too cool. Stop maxing out.
I'll leave my b-ball at the school.
99% max out. Okay.
Done.
Okay. Across from him is Matt Perry.
Hey.
One of our favorite people in the whole fucking world. Coming back to the show. It's been a second. Good to see you,
It's been a
sir.
minute. I was a member of the Lost episode earlier last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The great Lost
The one of the one
Little lore.
That's right.
man, that was such a great episode too.
And
Um,
you guys will never hear it.
Yeah,
It
we need to
was-
get Booker back so we can try to literally do the exact same episode, which will maybe happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Booze is hilarious.
Maybe it's on the Hillary servers.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
locked and loaded.
Might be, might be on human evidence computer.
So this week we'll probably talk about some movies. I finally got a chance to see Suicide Squad, so we'll probably bring that up when I'm a little bit more drunk and not too drunk to weep.
Just crying in the corner, fetal position.
Also got a chance to see Coco, which is a Disney's new movie that's based on, well, it's actually based on the Day of the Dead, Mexican culture, and it's
yeah.
fucking amazing, but we can talk about that later. But before that, what's up, guys?
Not much.
Yeah. Dylan, how are you?
All right.
Yeah.
Per our guest last week, I did watch all the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, good, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause,
really?
well, they're all on HBO now, so.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen. Oh, that's good to know.
I haven't actually watched all the movies, but in the last year, I was convinced to finally read the books.
You read them
So,
all?
I read them all.
Cool.
I did read them all.
Cool.
And so I now feel I'm even more armed in my criticism against them. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Oh,
see,
fair enough.
see, doesn't it feel good to finally do something super simple so you
Yeah.
can be right once in a
So
while?
So I can actually sleep better and feel better about myself.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I was watching those. I know we had Josh and Nick, who both apparently loved the shit out of those movies.
Yeah. They have a special place in my heart, but I think they're bad.
Well,
That's a correction from last week.
The first two movies are the exact same movie.
Those of you
I'm not sure if
keeping
anyone
score
noticed
at
that. They are the exact same fucking movie.
Yeah.
They really are.
Sure. I mean, one has a huge snake.
Yeah, but they still have to go and find a secret room and go into a secret room and find a thing. Like they both
Yeah.
have the exact same fucking plot.
Well, there's some water in one of those rooms.
Sure.
That's not in the other room.
Yeah.
So they're completely different.
No, not really. They're almost the exact same movie.
Sure.
But they were fine.
Which one stuck out to you that you like the most?
Honestly, I kind of just like the first one best. Honestly.
Yeah. It had the charm and wonder of
Yeah.
a good Dumbledore.
The third one, Azkaban.
Yeah.
Most of that movie is great until the end when they do their whole time travel weird bullshit. Then it gets just stupid.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
That one was Prisoner of Azkaban was the only one I think I actually ever saw in the theater because Sarah and I were together and we went to the opening night because she was a big
Potterphile.
Potterphile. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
Potterphile.
That's what they call themselves.
Yeah.
My
she got
mom
mad
is one.
because I think that was right around the time. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that's around the time that they released the trailer for The Watchmen. So like the only cheering I did the entire time was during the trailer for The Watchmen.
Sure.
And then I think
then
I fell asleep about 30 minutes into the movie
And
and,
then
don't
sadly,
remember. And
Yeah,
then,
really a nerd filter there.
And then sadly, you
Uh,
watched The Watchmen and it was like, what were they even cheering
I hate it that much.
for? It was not a good movie.
I like it.
That's harsh.
I like it more and more on subsequent viewings.
yeah. And if you watch the Ultimate Cut,
I haven't seen that one. It's like it's 4 hour long or something.
yeah, it's long. We watched it.
I haven't seen that.
We watched
Oh,
it
Jesus.
actually over Christmas.
Is that what the original ending by any chance?
No, it's not with the original ending, but they added in
The
the
Black
Tales from
Pirate
the
thing.
Tales from the Black Freighter as part of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's
okay.
the Tales from the Black Freighter are in it in the appropriate places where it was in the comic.
Okay.
So
Okay.
or in the graphic novel.
You know what's interesting about that? Your whole rant about how, you know what? Comic books, they're just storyboards.
They're just
You
storyboards.
could
They
just
were-
do that.
Just rip them out.
Yeah.
Except Watchmen was done using it as a storyboard, and it didn't really work.
Well, the
Well-
ending was the major.
They
The
were-
ending and I think the soundtrack were the weak points.
Well,
And he didn't really get it. Like, he didn't get it was a parody. Like
Yeah.
he did it very literally, not getting the heart
exactly.
of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but my point about the comic book thing is that you start there and then you make a good movie.
Yeah.
You don't muddy up the waters of our discontent by also trying to like take a story that's already written and then change the story drastically and then try to make a good movie. That's just like that's too many plates to spin.
And
Right,
You,
you
end up,
know.
you end up with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, we were The Walking Dead, where they're like second season, they're like, let's try something different. It's like, why? That was the whole purpose was to do exactly the same thing that the
And
comic
no.
was, and no, yeah, and it's in a ninth. Yeah, please. I think they're about to hit ninth season,
Yeah. Yeah. I had to stop in the Nagan season. That's where I gave up.
which is such a shame that it took so long to tell that story. Oh, whatever. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll go off.
I thought Negan was great, and I want Negan more, but it just took so long. I got so tired of Psychopath.
Actually, the best part about the Nagan season was the
Negan.
Negan,
Yeah.
Nagan,
Yeah.
whatever, that guy, was the
Hardin.
tribute they did to him in Supernatural. Because during that season, there's an episode of Supernatural because the same character, Jeffrey.
Wait, Supernatural is still going on at the
Yes,
same time
yeah,
that
yeah, it
Walking
is.
Dead was
Yeah,
going on?
and so-
I thought for sure that show.
No, and then there's an
30 seasons
episode
came out
of
last
there's
20
an
years.
episode of Supernatural because if you've watched Supernatural, you know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan also played the Winchester's father.
Right.
And so there's an episode where they come back from a hunt and they come back to their lair and
Their lair, yeah.
Dean throws a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire onto the table and he goes, "Gee, I really finally understand why Dad loved that so much." And that's,
Sure,
that's
yeah.
the whole thing. I was like, that's the
cute.
best part. That's
Yeah,
adorable.
That's cute.
And,
Yeah.
and it's I watched that show because I think somewhere inside me I hate myself a little, but
Yeah.
Supernatural?
yeah.
I mean,
That makes
I mean,
sense.
it's just good cheese.
it's good cheese.
It's
yeah.
just good cheese.
All right, anyway, so
It's just-
my final point about Harry Potter, I watched
Sure.
all of them.
Okay,
and
sorry.
No.
I
I
got
just
distracted.
want to finish because I'll make sure I give Travis his props. Not having read the books,
Yeah.
I completely back your opinion that just watching the movies, you could tell they missed a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Not even having read the book, you can just tell the way characters developed or
Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
were played
Yeah.
out.
Especially if you watch them all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched them all back to back. Like, why did that happen, or why is that character even here? They should have just cut this, that, or out because
Mhm.
if they're not to explore that, don't introduce it because it's a waste of time.
Mhm.
You could tell they missed a lot.
Mhm.
But at the end of all of them, even though the angry teenage Potter years, so the middle, number 4, I think is the worst one.
Is that the deep breathing years?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years into his sobriety.
Yeah. But having watched all of them, I came away with going, no, there's a complete story here, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I think that's
solid.
where like having been finally convinced because the way this came about for me to finally read the books was another friend of mine. We agreed that I would read a book she suggested and she would read a book I suggested, and so in this
Penthouse never happened.
right, and so my suggestion being Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's Good Omens.
Yep.
And hers being Harry Potter. Well, of course, I finished the first Harry Potter book, and then I was like, well, now I got to know. And so I went on and
fooled you.
and
Yeah.
the sad part is she's still not done with Good Omens. I have read all of Harry Potter, and she's still not
Part of
done
the
with
deal
Good Omens.
there.
Well, I mean, I read the first Harry Potter in college because
Yeah.
I took that children's was it children's or was it
Yeah, it was the adolescent. lit.
Adolescent lit,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we were in it together.
So I read that one, and then I didn't really read any of the other ones as far as I remember until the last book came out, and then I spent a week reading them all, and they're so fucking easy to read, and they are compelling enough to be like, all right, let's see what this bitch is talking about, you know?
Right.
Like this is what's going on here, you know? And the book sequence for the Time Turner stuff and like the Dobby stuff, like it makes more sense.
Yeah, Dobby's one that they you could tell just from watching them.
I was
they
curious about that
missed-
one specifically. Yeah.
They missed a lot with Dobby. I mean, he was introduced like with Azkaban, I guess, right?
No, and
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Azkaban.
yeah, yeah.
And he's introduced there, and they have some really cool stuff. And they kind of forget about him for 4 movies.
Yeah.
Then they bring him back, and like you were saying before, like how is supposed to be like the most powerful creatures that exist. He does like 2 tricks that like cool, that's great, and then they kill him.
Yeah.
It's like what a waste of a character. It's like,
He was really important in the Tri-Wizards Cup with the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
He was really important in that.
that was not in
Yeah,
the movies.
they left it out. No, probably too difficult. I thought to explain it, but I mean, whatever.
Did they actually, not having seen the later movies, because I haven't seen, I mean, I've seen them very sporadic, so I couldn't honestly tell you which ones I've seen and which one I haven't. Did they ever actually introduce Creature?
Yes.
Okay.
In the house, yeah.
Yeah.
In the house.
Yeah,
Because that,
yeah.
I actually, like, we were talking about a house elf. Like, in the stories, I actually really liked the arc of Creature because he went from being this miserable house elf that was just a disaster to actually not so much, I don't know if you could call him a good guy, but
No,
being a fulfilled
in the movie,
a
he's
fulfilled
just
character.
No, in
Fulfilled
the
arc,
movies,
yeah.
he's just a miserable character that Dobby actually has to coerce into being, on Harry Potter's side.
Right, right.
So
And
that's
then he
unfortunate.
just disappears.
Yeah. And,
That's unfortunate.
yeah, they really didn't use the. They really didn't utilize a lot of characters effectively in the movies because they just, I guess, didn't talk to her. I don't know because she had a plan, and then
Cash the check. Was
cash
her
the,
plan.
cash the check yeah.
Still is.
She
It's
still
good
is.
on her.
Do whatever. Making
Yeah.
gay
I mean,
porn. I'm out.
I'm not.
with honors.
I haven't watched any of the are they sequels or prequels?
They're
Or-
not either, from what I understand. You're talking about the
The
universe.
wild animals,
Or the-
whatever.
yeah.
creatures and how to tame them.
Whatever beasts.
Yeah.
Magnificent Beasts and that, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first movie is fucking trash.
They've made 2 of those, right?
The second one's
The
coming
second
out.
one's coming out.
Yeah.
That's the one that they're all up in arms over Johnny Depp being in or something.
If you're listening to this right now and you really, really, really like Magnificent Beasts and How to Find Them or whatever, if you really like that first movie, please 802-359-7468. I'm not kidding. Tell me why. Like, I'm not even trying to be disparaging to your taste or whatever. I couldn't get it. Like, it was just so fucking, like, they missed so many marks. It was just so easy for them to cash the fucking check.
From what I understand too, the source material isn't an actual story.
Right.
It's literally a
So they had
how to.
yeah, sure.
It's an extended universe how to manual.
Right.
For funsies.
Right.
And so it's kind of like
Not
it's
even
kind of
just-
like the
you
walking.
filmed the
It's
Dungeon
kind of like
Master
a World War Z's survival manual. Like it's
Right.
not. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even. It's
Not
it's
a narrative.
It's not a narrative. Yeah,
Right,
it's not a
right,
narrative. So they
right.
just took something and tried to force it into a narrative so that they could have a story
That's
to
fine,
tell.
but the acting also blows. The editing's gross. The music's stupid. The colors are all over the wacky place. Like, everything's really drab, and like the direction doesn't make any sense. The plot doesn't make that much sense. But the plot not making sense is totally fine because, like you said, there's no real source material. Like,
Right.
you can make a screenplay about dudes jacking off on each other. Who gives a shit? But as long as
I've been to that one,
as long as those dudes are really into it, that's really all I'm saying. You know, like, none of these dudes wanted to jerk off on each other. Is basically what I'm saying.
Universe building. It's
Universe building, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
It's
yeah.
our bread and butter.
Right. And how can you have a volume 2, you know, if they're, if they're not into it? I just don't
It's
believe.
in milliliters.
They don't love these guys.
I'm out.
Joke.
There's only 3 people on the show now.
Adam, tag in. Chris is done.
Going out on a high note. Leave them wanting more jizz.
How are we on time for the segment?
Let's go take a break and come back with more show. But
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
hate crackers.
I'm glad that that's still bringing joy to people in the world.
And the night's new, what a feeling, what a nice mood. A bad boom rock, we're here to rock you.
Okay, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
It's the double dose. This is where things get sexy. Yeah, just get out of the way. I mean, I think of the 4 of us, I think only Chris Lloyd and I have seen Justice League.
I can still talk about it.
You, well, I doubt
don't
you
need
guys,
source material.
Right.
I'm familiar with how bad
I'm going to watch it because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Oh no, sure. So I
And
won't give any major beats, but I will tell you, there's
it doesn't
like
really matter.
there's like
honestly.
2 or 3 really cool scenes that just reminded you, like, I think it
They
was
could have done better.
Bill and Ted had a comic book at one point. This is an idea that probably is covered in so many different philosophy books, but the concept here was that this version of hell in the Bill and Ted universe was actually 99.99999% of the time was awful, but for like 3 seconds, the clouds would clear and the sky would look beautiful and you can see heaven and you're calm and you're not getting raped anymore. And you remember, like, hey, this is what it's like, you know, and that's what Justice
You
League
don't want
was
to get
like.
numb to it.
You don't want to get numb to it.
Right,
yeah.
right, right.
And this is what Justice League was like. It's like, this is like, hey, this is fucking cool. And like, just turns back into this like, why is this a thing?
Terrible.
It's worse than
Terrible.
Suicide Squad. for
Whoa,
sure.
I disagree.
I
with
think
that.
it's worse than
Oh
Suicide
man,
Squad.
that's saying a lot because I still hold to Suicide Squad being that. I actually think I would rather watch multiple viewings of The Room than ever to watch Suicide Squad again.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Suicide Squad.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, no, I just gotta say, Suicide Squad, I don't think was as bad as the way you guys portray it.
Oh my god!
That's
all
all
right, let's do this.
No, I am not.
Bring it out.
I am
warmed
not
up with Harry Potter.
Hold on.
Here
I
we
am not
go.
defending it at all.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not defending it at all, but it's just I don't read the comics the way you guys do, and I have to say I think you guys carry an extra level of vitriol that doesn't necessarily exist outside of that.
I disagree.
I can't disagree with that because I know that I'm close enough to it that the hope was there. You know.
Yeah, just watching it as a movie, it's not a great movie. It's also not as shitty as movies you guys keep saying it is. I've seen much worse.
I will tell you, like, I'm not
Actually,
a Suicide Squad guy.
Superman versus Man of Steel was a much worse movie than Suicide Squad.
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I'll
It
die
is
on that.
unbelievable
I
how
can't- I
all of
can't
you
do
are
that
wrong
one.
in individual ways. Suicide Squad has nothing to, like I've never read a Suicide Squad comic, but it wasn't even a story. Like it was like the beginning of a story.
no,
it was like a 2-hour
Well, I
long
mean, I
trailer.
felt like-
No,
Right.
to me, it reminded me of any Michael Bay movie in the past 10 years.
Oh, but it's worse than that though. I
but
think.
it didn't have a beginning, middle,
hold
and
on,
end.
hold on.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
That's maybe where I'm numb because I watch movies all the time, and so yeah, Transformers, that's shit. I just look at it as shit. I accept it as shit. Suicide Squad is no better. It's also no worse.
You're right.
It's in the same category.
I think they were trying to aim for the middle distance and still like never left the field and then shot themselves and their mom in the head. That's how bad I think.
Yeah, again, Transformers 5. Yeah.
No. Transformers 5 achieved what it wanted to
Right.
achieve.
Transformers 5 was
Again, and
schlock.
this is where I step back. I think you guys are you have a comic DC extended universe mindset. I don't.
I appreciate the
I
consideration.
just think it was just not that great of a movie.
I know.
But it wasn't as horrible.
I
as you guys
appreciate the
think.
consideration. At the same time, like I said, like I can't disagree that I'm not too close to it, but at the same time, I will just like literally just even trying to watch it, ignoring all the stuff that I wanted to do. I just wanted it to be a movie,
Right.
And it's barely a movie,
Right.
It's bad
Which
schlock.
is-
Right. It's
You-
not.
schlock is fun.
You're
Schlock
like,
can be good or
wait,
bad.
Well,
what
and-
was the climax of the movie versus when did Act 2 end?
Well,
like
I mean,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
I felt
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like, and once again, I'm going to out myself on nerd stuff, but like as the closest source, I've never actually read the Suicide Squad comics either. So my closest touchstone to it, honestly, was watching Green Arrow. Believe it or not, because they actually do
They have some of those characters. Yeah.
they do Suicide Squad within the
Right.
Green Arrow universe, and so
Right.
they actually it was kind of a
Great.
subplot. It's a subplot they've done, and I the characters they did in the Green Arrow show were actually modestly engaging, as far as who they were, how they got to be the parts of the Suicide Squad. There was I felt like whoever did the movie literally just went, okay, the way we're going to do this twist is these are people how do you take what they were trying to do is to take people that ostensibly are bad guys and make them into good guys, and they, instead of exhibiting characteristics like true characteristics of being bad guys, they were exhibiting characteristics of being good guys. They just were. It was almost like they were trying to take. It was almost like they were trying to take the success of Deadpool and
Yes.
twist it.
That's
and,
it.
and- and-
Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and like
no, no.
Put lots of
and like
music
they
in
were
it.
like they
From a
saw.
movie perspective, yes, that was absolutely evident that those movies came out before Suicide Squad and while Suicide Squad fresh, and you could tell it was recut
For sure. Yeah.
drastically.
Yeah, and
to appease to a different market.
I mean, like, and I feel
Or
like
to change what they were trying to do.
not to go off on like complete Deadpool fanboyism, but I mean,
The movie's great.
It was, and so like if you're comparing the two side by side,
Oh no!
I mean like Deadpool versus Suicide Squad. There's nothing endearing in Suicide Squad at all. There's
Right.
zero.
Right.
Like they added Will Smith as
Right.
star power, which was terrible.
Yeah.
And it's not faulting Will Smith because I actually like Will Smith. So, but it's
and
like
they gave him a backstory where you felt bad for him, and like that would make more sense if it wasn't you.
If he wasn't super bad guy.
It's like they took Harley Quinn's hammer and put "feel bad for him" and just kept smashing you in the fucking face with it. Like I don't
Right.
care about his backstory.
Yeah.
like it could have been fascinating, but like instead,
wasn't.
That's a different movie.
Well, I mean, like,
don't
but you-
cram it all in
but that's
there.
right,
and
right.
That's,
Right.
I mean, like his backstory is the equivalent of the Punisher's backstory, and we've all recently seen how much we liked that.
Oh, that
but
was
it's
great.
but that's the thing, is it like you tried to take a character that is supposed to be one of the worst villains in the DC universe, because Deadshot is a terrible villain. At the end of the day, he's a heartless, remorseless. And like try to give him
Yeah.
a heart, and
Yeah.
it's like, why did you bother?
Yeah.
Like, why did you bother?
Why does he have a daughter?
Like, who
Doesn't
are you
fucking
trying to
matter.
appeal?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
are you trying to appeal to here?
Right.
Are you trying to appeal to the? Because you're certainly not trying to appeal to the fans.
Right.
You're trying to appeal to what it is you're trying to appeal to an audience.
we need a non-threatening
that-
black guy here.
yeah.
Stat.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
They
And he went straight to Netflix afterwards.
Yeah.
So take that, motherfucker.
Actually, Bright wasn't that bad either.
I
haven't
actually
seen
don't
it.
know whether or not it's,
Bright,
it's good or not.
I saw.
but-
I watched Bright, and I'll agree with Dylan on this one that it was entertaining.
Yeah, it's a
It was
serviceable hour and a
entertaining. It was
half.
Okay, that's good.
and I admired it for the fact that it was so out of left field, like the whole concept.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Like
yeah.
They made their own universe.
yeah, that they
yeah,
made their
I like
own
that.
universe. I actually like the fact they didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to explain where everything was, why it was this way. We didn't get a whole lot of exposition.
Right.
It was just, this is how it is.
Yep.
And I kind of appreciated that, because I feel like in movies today we spend way too much time explaining
Origin
why
story,
things. Yeah,
backstory.
and so I mean I don't think it was as bad as a lot of people think it was. I mean, for a Netflix
Sure.
movie, it was
Sure.
it was
fine.
entertaining.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Netflix has done worse stuff. Adam Sandler movies.
I think the reason why the Justice League movie was worse than Suicide Squad to me was that it also just didn't know what it was trying to do, and was less compelling. And it had those like little moments of the sun coming out. You know,
That's high praise.
I disagree.
you disagree? You think
Well,
Justice League
no-
was more compelling than Suicide Squad?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was more compelling. Like
Okay, so you agree with me?
it had a boring story,
Yeah.
but it had a story. Like there was a beginning, a middle, and end.
Yeah, that's true.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
It was.
It was
I
stupid.
agree with the 3 seconds thing you're going
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
But like when you watch, like again, there was a beginning, middle, and end. It was actually a story. Where Suicide Squad failed. It wasn't a bad comic book movie. It was like
a bad movie.
right. Like if you were telling that to your kids at bedtime, they'd be like, "Daddy, what
Yeah.
are you saying
Are-
right
Dad's
now?"
drunk and
Are you on NyQuil? Have you drank too much NyQuil?
If
Dad?
they
Man,
told you
on
the
record.
Justice League story, you'd be like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good job, MacGuffin Daddy."
Again, on record.
Right.
I didn't say Suicide Squad was a good movie.
No. And I wasn't even.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
in my line of sight. Like that's
No,
what I'm saying.
I think Suicide Squad is still, and I don't mean by a lot. I still think Suicide Squad was a better movie than Justice League. I think Justice League was just so atrocious.
Okay, now that's an interesting story. I want to explore that.
Right.
I'll see it when it comes
So
out.
like, yeah. So now you're gonna make me go sit through.
Watch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
watch
it's,
it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
See, it can't be worse than
but
Man of
I'm gonna have to
Steel.
wait. I'm gonna have to wait for another 99-cent rental on Google Play before I'll do it.
Sure.
So
it's on my Plex if you want to see it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Whatever.
I
know.
might do that because I still haven't seen Batman versus.
Because $1 is like $400 too much to spend on that movie. I think.
I would actually like to hear your take on Batman v Superman.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
These guys liked it.
Well,
I honestly think it's still the best DC movie that's come out since the Snyder takeover. Honestly,
I'd go with Man of Steel, but yes.
Oh God, no, I would not.
I mean, I don't like any of them.
I haven't. Well, right.
That's it. So
It's a low bar. I mean,
right.
we're-
What's your favorite cancer? But
Right.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
If I think about Man of Steel versus Batman v Soup, it's a tough call.
there's just no soul to any of the. It is literally like if we put them in a movie, they'll show up.
Yeah.
And that was as much thought as they gave to anything.
There was one really cool scene in Justice League, the scene with Flash.
Everyone cites that scene.
But because it was neat. It was finally neat. It was like, and the Red Letter Media guys talked about specifically, it felt like that was one of the scenes that Joss Whedon wrote, even though Cavill actually didn't have a mustache and they weren't CGing out. Like,
Right.
So it was definitely a Snyder thing, but it was like the only part of the movie that was really compelling is like, that Superman comes back to life.
Yeah.
Superman comes back to life and he's kind of fucked up in the head.
Spoilers.
He comes back. He's fucked up in the head, and so he doesn't know what to do. And so like the people that collected so far in the Justice League as it stands are basically trying to fight him. And the Flash is like, oh shit, I'll run behind him. And there's that scene, and it's very very similar to the Apocalypse scene from X-Men Apocalypse, when Quicksilver is basically knocking Apocalypse all the way around, and like Apocalypse kind of turns his head and goes and does something. But this one is like Superman, just like he's got all these guys held up, and he just turns his head and looks straight to Flash, and the Flash just goes like his face just crestfallen, like he's faster than me. And then this fucking great scene of him just trying to dodge when Superman's just fucking faceless, just emotionless, just gonna murder you. I'm like, and that was neat. And then it was over, and that was the best
Then
movie.
back to the anal rape.
That little tiny, Because on its soul, and I guess like even Rich from the is it Rich? The guys from Red Blue whatever. I'm talking about like at least there's some schlock that felt like it feels like a Super Friends episode. Because the plot is so flimsy and so dumb.
Go get the boxes.
Yeah, gotta
And,
find. Batman found out that there was boxes because one of the creatures exploded and 3 boxes showed up, and so the boxes must be
It
important.
was also at the bar.
Yeah.
And then they literally go fight Superman, and they left the box unguarded.
Yeah.
And it was just one line of exposition. I
Oh,
guess they got the last
Who
box.
got
now.
the last box, so we're gonna fix it.
What were the boxes?
Wait, that just sounds horrible. Just
I just
explain
leave
it.
The
it up for you.
MacGuffins.
Yeah,
Oh, the MacGuffins.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
you get
okay.
these 3 boxes, and bad things happen
Okay.
if they all end up in the same spot.
So
Which never really explained exactly what that was going to be, except for like maybe terraforming.
Unity.
Right, Unity, but like you never really explain what that is. So that's either like actually interesting.
They sort of show it at the Chernobyl thing.
It's basically the same thing as Man of Steel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, so
Okay.
it's
we're-
a creature showing
It's
up
going to
who's
be
tear-
uninhabitable
Yeah.
when it's done, so
Okay. For his
Darkseid can
people.
come
Yeah.
and
Okay.
live there.
But they barely even said. They haven't said Darkseid. They said Mother Box like 1,000 times more than he said Darkseid. It was like so
Right.
sad because I thought Darkseid was going to be the fucking
Oh,
boss.
yeah, and apparently there was like supposed to be a picture of him.
You guys mind spoilers?
No, I really
No.
don't. Like,
So-
Can you really spoil this stuff? I mean,
So,
Yeah.
aside from the fact that it feels like the last 3 or 4 minutes were just like the writer saying, and then they won, the end.
Yes, exactly. Superman shows up. Yay!
So Superman shows up and they're fighting what the fuck is that guy's name?
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. So Steppenwolf, whatever. Like, they're fighting Steppenwolf and like he's handing some ass out. He's like beating them pretty well. Until Superman shows up and he shows up and just like hits him like flies off. It's like, oh, he's much stronger than Steppenwolf. This will be an easy fight. And Superman's like, they're civilians, and just flies away. Even though the Flash is literally on his way to save the civilians, he's like, there's no time. I'm faster than him, and goes and. So they literally like they take the fucking nuke codes out. They put the keys in. They're about to hit the button. They're like, sandwich. Let's get a sandwich real quick.
so they Matrix 2'd it.
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
No,
they
like the Justice League, like right, it's supposed to be. It's so big, not even one of these guys can. Like even Wonder Woman and Superman can't handle this thing alone.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
literally
that's
just
Darkseid. That's what that character. That's why that should be that villain.
Right.
'Cause Steppenwolf should be kind of. I mean, like Batman shouldn't be able to take him out without using guns. Maybe with guns for sure, but whatever.
But it's literally like they're getting their ass handed to them,
Batman
the
got a
entire
fucking
league,
raw
and
deal.
then Superman shows up and beats him in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
like there's no team.
Eventually, 30 seconds. Well, remember at the very end, the team finally does, not because of teamwork or anything. They just finally get like, they finally are able to hit him enough times for Superman to come in and win.
But that's I feel like
They do
I
a
feel
holding
like that's
action.
the long-standing problem with anything to do with Superman in the first place is that Superman removes the agency of all other parties involved.
Well, sure.
Like that's one of the reasons I've never been able to enjoy Superman as a character. Like I
Right.
enjoyed Man of Steel.
This was our
because
first
of-
fight.
yeah.
I enjoyed Man of Steel because that was all around. There was no other involvement. It was Superman versus General Zod and
Right.
so on and so forth.
Right,
and so
right, right.
I liked it because of that. But like the moment you start trying to include Superman with other heroes, he removes the agency of everybody else because
Yeah,
he's
see-
always got to be the one to fix everything.
But I feel like, and that's the problem with this version of Superman is they just like they even Superman's already super overpowered. They made him even more strong than he should
Like they
be.
nerfed everybody.
They nerfed everybody.
It is literally just a hey. We have no ability to do anything
Yeah.
on our own. We are the committee to revive Superman, and that is the only role they played in the movie.
Aquaman, aside from having a trident, Aquaman's superpower is that he just doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like
Broed out.
He's not even that strong, really. Like he takes guys out or whatever. They're just all stronger than Batman, and Batman actually only exists to make you feel like everyone's stronger than Batman.
Right.
Like he got such a raw deal in this movie.
But he beat Superman.
Right,
Well, right.
and there's no even
And he
like
didn't even bring the fucking kryptonite powder from the fucking Batman for Superman, just in case Superman goes fucking crazy, because he literally says, like, well, this was one of the fucking options that Superman was going to go fucking...
Lois.
Right. They brought Lois instead, because hopefully that works out. If he wants to murder all of us and he'll remember his fucking wife, maybe there's a chance he won't. Maybe he's been dead for so long his brain doesn't fucking work.
Right.
He's from Krypton. We don't even fucking know how they're fucking... Whatever.
Oh, just say Martha.
yeah, right.
Just say Martha. That's all.
Just say Martha. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
no reason for Aquaman. There's no like moment where it's like, oh, only Batman could have figured out the plot, and yeah, Superman was the guy who had to punch a thing, but Batman was the only one who knew to punch that thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Cyborg had to
So what-
hack
what
that
you're saying
thing,
is-
and he was the
Batman
only one who
shows
could
up-
have hacked that.
He
So, I
shows
mean,
up
like-
with this fucking great tank thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm overpowered, so hey, Alfred, send me the tank, the Nightcrawler or whatever it's called." And this thing comes out, and it's fucking cool. It's a spider tank thing. And he starts to shoot at some stuff, and then it's like immediately destroyed. And it's like, well, okay, what was the fucking point? And then Cyborg's like, "I got this," and like somehow hacks into it to make it work again.
Except he can't control his powers.
Right.
and so it's
Why? Why?
Because movie.
But yeah, no, not even just because movie. It's like people just kept falling asleep and forgot they were trying to make a movie and said like, "Oh, well, where were we? Well, Batman, roll the dice." You know, like what
we got to have Cyborg. Just have
So
Cyborg
it was
do
actually
something.
somebody's tabletop adventure map
you know,
in the DC universe.
You know,
That's
yeah,
really what it was.
if it
The-
really, if
and the
it, if it
Dungeon
is,
Master was
then it's
really
actually
drunk.
a pretty good movie considering. You know?
Considering it came from
So this is
the
the
Mount
Mad
Dude
Libs of
addled
movies.
brain of a
Yes.
14-year-old
Yeah.
adolescent. Not that bad.
Yeah. Zack Snyder is just like, yeah, whatever you guys are doing, I'm still waiting for the pizza.
I like Superman.
You all die. Yeah, I like Superman.
Are there girls there?
He's over there min-maxing like, no, Superman should win. You
can't triple
rolled
stamp
very
a
well.
double stamp.
Superman's alive.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Let's take another break. Let's come back and do more show. Bye-bye.
Breaks, bitters, mix, bitter caps, split bricks.
Here you go, nerds.
I'm going on this fortified train, slowly sewing my name on the quilted bricks. Wipe the dust off the canvas and with the breaks.
Welcome back, segment 3. Good show.
Fight this.
This is the fight in 3. So we don't really have anything else to fight about because we kind of agreed that Chris is wrong about everything.
Yeah.
No,
We're united.
yeah, and it feels so good.
Justice League.
What's the other thing that I mentioned that I wanted to... Oh, Coco. If you haven't seen Coco, I absolutely recommend it. Beautiful movie. It was actually... like I loved it so much that I felt like I was watching a Disney movie for the first time. Not just like a Disney Pixar thing. Like, it was just fucking just goddamn wonderful.
Wow.
And surprising because, you know, we're watching this and it's like it's all based on Mexican heritage, the stories of Day of the Dead and what family means. And that's a big family and memory are big themes. And you know, there's a part where there's a portion of it where it felt kind of culturally appropriate for a second, you know, because it's just like so deep in this thing, and it's like it's so strange because I've watched so many other movies that are based on like Moana came out last year,
Yeah.
and that's based on Hawaiian, and I didn't feel any weird about it at all. But it's like there was something really weird about this for a split second, and it was like, and I looked online and was like, oh no, fucking Mexicans love this fucking movie. Okay, great. Whatever, you know.
I just want to know in Coco, does Manny Calavera ever make an appearance? Okay, damn it.
No, but oh crap, what's her name? With the thick eyebrows.
Frida
is it-
Kahlo?
Frida Kahlo. She's a main character. Yeah. Yeah. Well, not a main
I
character.
get
Not
it.
actually a main character, but
Okay.
no, it was really, really fascinating. I thought it was really, really sweet, and absolutely recommend it. And I cried like a baby because it's a Pixar movie too.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Themes about
My.
memories always get me. You know.
Sure.
Like,
that's
yeah.
why. That's
I
why
know nothing
I feel like
about it.
I feel like if you can, I feel like that should be a test on someone's humanity. Is that you make them watch like the first 10 minutes of Up, and if they're not damp-eyed, then you know they're
At
a
least-
sociopath.
At least
point in time.
damp-eyed. Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
find the Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's actually the right void comp test. That's actually. Speaking of, I finally watched 2049.
I haven't seen it yet. How is it?
What's 2049?
Blade
Runner.
Runner 2049.
Okay, got it.
I think I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is amazing.
Yeah,
is a little too long. I still really enjoyed it. I did feel that Ryan Gosling fell prey to the Keanu Reeves theory that I hold. And
I'm gonna write this down.
so
He's a clear bucket.
Yeah, so
any kind of liquid you
so
pour
I
into
think-
he's gonna
right,
look like that.
I feel like the reason why Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves has a career is because he's a grown person's he's our generation, he's a grown-up's action figure when you're watching him in a movie. Like
Yeah.
he's not
he's an
nobody.
avatar. He's
so
an avatar.
blank.
He's your own personal.
He's your own personal avatar.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can project you onto him while in a film, and it's like you're just filling him up with whatever you feel, not so much that he's giving you anything.
At the risk of being cliche, may I say, whoa.
You must.
It's whoa.
I've heard that same theory about Spider-Man. That's why Stan Lee says Spider-Man's so popular, because he's got a full face mask, so anyone can be Spider-Man in their brain.
I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in
yeah.
this movie,
I'm
but I feel
underlining.
like it was also really well done in the sense that once you know that not trying to give any spoilers, but once because you find out in the first 5 minutes of the movie that the main character is a replicant, so it served a purpose. Is what I'm getting at. Is it him being a blank-faced kind of non-emotional character served its purpose in the film.
Arnold as Terminator.
Yeah. So I really liked it. I liked it way more than I expected I was going to like it. It kind of made me regret the fact that I didn't take the time to go see it in the theater.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It's just one of those that I didn't have the time, and I think someday if they ever bring it back, given the number of times they brought Blade Runner back to the theater,
sure,
I'd like to go see it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh
wow.
I'm telling you, when we talk about great news and good place.
Oh, just how fucking great they are.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot on the show, but at the same time, I think it bears repeating for sure.
We have mentioned it a lot. We've mentioned them a lot, unfortunately. No, not unfortunately. They're just damn good fucking shows. I texted you yesterday. I was watching the recent episodes, and the thing that you and I both love more than anything else is when you build a universe and you have throwaway jokes within your own universe.
Yeah.
You have so much good stuff. You can just do dumb shit.
Yeah.
And it's both those shows are so good at it.
I just realized they're on my YouTube TV, so I can go back and watch them.
Oh,
awesome.
wonderful! Yeah.
Actually, that's exciting.
They're on Hulu too.
It was like this Hulu is only showing like the last 4 or 5 episodes of Good Place.
Yeah, because the first season's on Netflix.
No, of season 2, they're only showing the most recent 4 episodes.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, they're missing 4 or 5 episodes. But they had a great throwaway joke about hell. They're in hell, and there's a poster far on the wall that says Pirates of the Caribbean 6 now playing forever. They don't draw attention to it.
No.
They're talking over the dialogue. This is just a thing in the background to say this is what hell would look like.
Yeah.
I love when shows care that much.
Yeah.
That and in great news, the main character,
Katie,
she names her boobs Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh my god, I fell in love. I fell in love all over again. Oh my god,
funny.
Yeah. Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
They have a mind of their own. Like her zipper
and the zipper just comes down. She's like thinking about seducing someone. Like mom figures it out. And she's like zip, and she's like, and just. The whole thing, it just unzips on its own. That's why I always try to show, for anyone who's never seen Great News, I try to show that one clip where she's at the diner with her boyfriend or whatever, and she's trying to see her phone from under the table, and she knocks the fork over, and she's like, "Oh no, my fork!" And then out of nowhere, a fork comes out, a fork hand comes out, and she's like, "No, I loved the fork I had." And there's no reason for that interaction to happen at all. She could just do the whole
raw joke,
simple plot. It's just there's no reason that a waiter is always just ready with a fork by every single table. That's stupid, impossible, and fucking wonderful. That's why I like to share that clip, especially.
Because both their shows are so good.
Yeah. Too good to live.
The Good Place is a show that I actually get upset when the episode ends.
Wow.
Oh no, because I want to binge all of it.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson.
And we had to watch one episode and then wait a week. It's like, no, it's too good. I want to see more.
Yeah.
I want to go back and watch all of it from the first one.
It has an interesting pacing to it, too, because the Good Place specifically doesn't feel like... I mean, it all works the right way. It's written well and it's presented very well, but it never feels like when the show is over, it's like, oh, fuck, it's over already? But not in a way oh, I want more. It's it just flows too well, and you forget you're watching it. Yeah, it's it's not even about closure. It's they lead a thing at the very last second. You're going to have to check out next time, but you don't feel like they're cheating you out of anything.
Right.
It's
it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Yeah.
Next week,
Tim, I guess give a round of shots for the next one.
Yeah. Lemon.
Yeah, lemon, please.
But they're both so good. And Superstore, I like Superstore a lot also.
Do you like Superstore?
I do.
Okay.
Now, it's curious. So a friend of mine, I used to work in the grocery industry years and years and years ago. So my friend and I, we both love it because we can relate to the insanity of it.
Of course.
His wife doesn't get it.
Okay, sure.
So there definitely is. If you've never worked retail, you're going to miss some piece of this.
Really?
But what I love about Superstore is when they're in the store, they do these amazing cutaways that are completely nothing to do with the plot. like random customer like doing something stupid or weird, like just B-roll. And it's sometimes it's fantastical and weird, like just smelling your armpit or something.
Family
like,
Guy,
why?
kind of thing. Yeah,
there's like no reason for that to exist other than this to show in this universe they work in a retail store like a Walmart, and there are gross people who shop there,
Right.
and you see them sometimes.
Right.
And I like that they care to do that. It's like little cutaway, like, oh, here's the thing. No reason for
I
it.
should probably check out that show because there was no reason for me to really check out any of the shows that I've been watching recently that I've been trying to get other people to watch. Because I don't think like I would.
Such as?
Well, like if I'd never seen 30 Rock, I don't know if I'd ever want to check out Great News. You know, I would watch it and love it because I love 30 Rock so much. But like I would look at that and say like, it's not. There's nothing about it. So there. I mean, maybe. Yeah. Okay. I'll check it out. That's fine. That's fine, Dylan. Fine. God damn it. Jesus.
I'll say, just keeping the thread alive of good TV shows.
Yeah, what you got?
I have re-fallen in love with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
I checked out on season 4. Season 5 is just, I love it just as much as I ever did.
Which
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go find.
I'm really curious about that because I tried really hard to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I feel like if you just.
and I heard it gets better.
I think start at the 4th or 3rd season and just read a synopsis of what happened up until that point.
I feel like the 4th season was bad. Like I was
Okay.
checked out.
Okay.
I still haven't started. I'm done with Gotham. Like Gotham's dead to me.
It's so trash.
Actually, yeah, no,
It-
I agree.
makes me
we've
so sad.
sung praises about Gotham.
Yeah.
This
And
season, I think
got
I
out
watched
of
the
control.
first episode. I'm like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you guys just are wasting time and
No one dies. Like there's no threat of anything.
There's no real threat. I mean, like, there's a conspiracy thing that's going on that's kind of interesting, and then young Bruce is, going straight into the, like,
He's wearing a mask now.
Yeah.
PTSD thing.
Basically,
Well,
what-
how far are you?
I ended at the last season. I watched like 2 episodes of this season. Was like I'm done.
Oh, okay.
I think
yes.
I think the last season I was in the middle of the Mad Hatter season.
Oh,
was
that
that
was
three?
Oh
That
yeah,
was
that
like
was
second season
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
was
sure.
it 3?
the last thing that happens in the series is people have spoilers or whatever. It's Gotham. Who gives a shit?
yeah, no one
It's
cares.
a DC product. No one gives a shit.
the first season was so good.
Es-
First season.
essentially, what happens is like you have the mob family character's daughter comes back.
Right.
She's got a plan, whatever. But the most important thing is that young Bruce is freaking out because he killed Ra's al Ghul, killed him, quote unquote.
Right.
And is trying to figure out what that means, and realizes that he can use his considerable amount of money to get drunk all the time and bang lots of ladies. And so that character, and that's the only reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Now-
I did
now
not
I'm-
watch that far into season 5.
Yeah,
then,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
need to go back and check it
No,
out.
I finished season 5.
like the 14-year-old Bruce Wayne is
he's like 18,
drinking.
He's like 18 or 19. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
But he like
well, then they fast forwarded a lot because he don't look 18, 19 to
same
me.
kid.
he did this exact same thing, like same thing that the Batmans have always done, I guess, in the situation where he walks into a club and some so he's like he's hanging with these weird people, like some friends of his, and one guy's being a dick, and so they get to this club and they want to get in, and the dick won't he can't get in because his name is
So
on the
Bruce
thing,
buys the
and so
club.
Bruce
Buys the club.
Yeah. And so that starts his whole like, oh man, this is pretty great, and girls love rich people. And then really how it ends is he gets power of attorney over his own life and kicks Alfred out.
Oh.
That's like the last scene of his little
they've
plot line.
done that a couple times. Like
well,
him
sure.
and Alfred get in a fight, and
Well, yeah,
he
this is like
relearns-
Alfred kicked out of the house forever, kinda
Right.
like concept or whatever. He's not doing the fighting thing anymore. He's not going to be the Batman. He's just going to take the time to just
Bang whores.
bang bitches or whatever, whatever that means.
That's how I deal with my parents' death.
If I were a billionaire teen, yeah, probably.
As a billionaire, almost 40-year-old, yeah, still
Yeah. I completely agree with that too.
right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could afford plenty of penicillin. Let's
Sure.
do this.
Yeah.
Tony Stark,
I would
put your heart out.
I would pre-screen first. You know.
Oh yeah,
I just hire my
could
own
afford
I'm
to
in
do
the
that.
classy ones.
No. If you had billions of dollars, you should have like STD nanites or whatever, like just crawling all over your bits.
Yeah.
Little alerts.
Some Cree technology or some,
And you'd
just
have a
hand wave it.
Right. Cree technology. Yeah. And a Twitter account that tells you how many times you were saved by crabs or whatever.
It's part of the new Trump tax plan. Huh?
Yes. Few tax options. Let's take another break. We'll come back and we'll do some shots and round it out. Big.
Ah.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break like
But I mean, who doesn't love Ghost Dog? I mean, who really?
Me. That movie sucks.
and the nights through what I feel
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey!
Second before this is an opportunity to talk about anything that we have missed this week that we want to cover. Anything that we missed. Let's start with Dylan.
No, I think we covered. I'm done.
You're satiated.
Well, we had a snow day.
We had a snow
We had a snow day in Austin.
Some Texas town actually had a whole week off because of the flu. So that's fun.
Well, that's real, though.
Yeah, that's a real thing, yeah.
Yeah, no, we had a snow day. Like the entire city of Austin closed on Tuesday because it was too cold.
Yeah, flash frozen, whatever.
Yeah, which
It was icy.
I didn't see any, but I'm sure there was some. But
Well, I left
There
the
was definitely some
I left the
in the
pipes
woods.
outside to drip, and they froze. That was kind of fun.
But of course, the flip side of all that, the punchline is today was 65.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well-
Almost at 70, and it was sunny. You know?
Well, and even Monday night, it was like you couldn't wear a jacket outside Monday night, but it was like you are not going in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like they called it at like noon on Monday. They're
Yeah.
like, let it go. But it was you could have swum Monday afternoon.
ERCOT, the electric. Yeah, no, I can't remember. It's always ERCOT to me.
You work for the company.
I work for that company. They said that was the highest usage of electricity in Austin for 7 years.
Really?
Wow.
People running their
What happened
heaters
7
like
years
morning
ago?
too, not overnight. Like that morning.
I actually
People waking up.
that morning
It was cold.
Yeah,
my
it's
my
14.
like
my
18,
thermostat was set to 71 and it literally run the entire night. And when I went and I actually have an infrared thermometer, so just for giggles, I went and tested my vents, and my thermostat could not keep the air. My heater couldn't keep the air coming out of my vents higher than 61.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
and it was just, I mean, it was chugging. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. It's gonna be
yeah.
expensive.
I was
Cut me
like-
some slack.
It was like, yeah, it was like, you do this to me in the summer, and now you're doing it to me in the winter too.
Want it hot or cold, motherfucker? Pick a fucking
like,
temperature.
just give me something in the middle.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough. My house is old and weird, and
Tell me about it.
as it yours.
Your house reminds me
Kind
of
of like
a
your
dungeon.
junk, am I
I'll be
right?
honest with you.
Whoa! Speaking of,
but it just so happens that my bedroom apparently is 10 degrees hotter than the rest of the house all the time, always.
Yeah.
that's what she said.
So I was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It was like 85 degrees in my room. Go into the hallway, it's like 14, but yeah, my room is fine. So
Oh,
I
sure.
just curl up in bed, get TV, and the dog. Like I don't feel.
yeah.
Well, our shower's upstairs.
Simmer down, Azizan. Sorry.
Our house is definitely like too soon. Our house is pretty broken, but like the heat goes all the way upstairs, so that's totally fine. And the shower's up there, so I don't have to do that like super quick, like or wrap yourself in towels and not freeze to death before getting pants on, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're listening to this from some place that actually has winter, fuck
Forgive
you.
us.
Yeah,
Please
no.
forgive us.
It was 14, man. That's scary.
yeah,
When they come down here and they're like, "Oh my god, is it 80 all the time here?" And you're like, "Shut up."
Well,
and
there's
then-
like one day where
and
it's
it-
not.
Yeah, and then, but at the converse, like they come to visit here, and we hit summer in the middle of summer when we're 111.
Yeah.
and like we're
They
used to
demand
it at this point.
Sundays.
And then exactly. And then you're kind of at this point of like, no, this is normal for us. Like
Yeah.
So
I saw the one.
Yeah.
It was someone going. It was like California had sent out a thing about like, "Oh, we're 70. How are you doing the rest of the world?"
Right.
And then someone wrote back, "Is like, you know what? You guys catch on fire too often to be talking a lot of shit."
To be the sub, yeah.
right? Like,
That's a
knock
fair
it off.
point.
Yeah.
Catching fire and mudsliding. Apparently, those are
Right.
your shticks.
At the same time, there
Sweet burn.
was a town in Russia that actually was so cold they believed that it was negative 85. They believe that.
Oh, wait, was this the one where the software had a glitch? No.
The mercury didn't go far enough. Like,
Oh, wow,
no one had
okay.
a thermometer that would actually go cold enough to determine how cold it was. They just guessed using.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so certain
Sure.
parts of it, 85
Holy
to
crap.
negative 90. Yeah.
Like, God's telling you to leave.
Yeah.
Like, that is an affront.
Never
to
be there.
Yeah,
man
there's
and
not enough
nature.
seal blubber to warm yourself at that
Or
point.
vodka.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
vodka.
On that note, yeah, people making fun of us because it's hot. Like, we have sweat glands. We don't have fur and blubber.
Yeah,
Like, sure, we
yeah,
were
exactly.
meant to be here.
I don't know. I'm looking around the table right now. I think we all have a pretty good amount of fur.
Oh. maybe a little extra layer.
Saying.
That's
Just
kind of a snotty
mean.
comment.
I'm just saying we have some insulation at the table. We're all good.
Okay.
way to step on my
We
joke.
have faces for radio. is my
Wait.
point.
That was way to hurt my New Year's resolution, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
no.
What else have we missed this week, Matt?
Did y'all talk about the Hawaii tweet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good call.
The crazy meme factories have been going crazy with that thing. If you don't know anything about this, that the Hawaiian. Well, it's a state by state thing, right? That they have
Yes.
their own.
Yes.
I'm learning more and more about how that is not regulated and fucking frightening. But they accidentally sent in an alarm that missiles were going to hit Hawaii.
A
then
nuclear missile
from a
alert.
drop
Yeah.
down menu.
and it took 45 minutes to tell people that they weren't. And there were videos of people in the streets trying to shove their kids into storm drains to keep them from getting murdered by North Korea. So hey, yay!
Yeah, I literally don't know what to make of it because it's like I mean I can only imagine, especially given my my own life experience. I'll discuss that later.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so but like but at the same time, I think the most ridiculous part about it at the end of the day is that when you finally saw the screenshots, I think I saw the ones I saw were on Ars Technica, if I'm not mistaken. Sure. And they had an article about how it happened, and they showed a picture of the freaking menu that this poor person clicked on, and it was like it was. I mean, I think I've seen GeoCities websites that were better made, and I mean, I can completely see how this would have happened.
HyperCard
Yeah,
application.
and I mean, it's literally just a series of web links. And like, if you look at the variation between the one that was the real deal that was apparently used versus the one that was meant to be the training version, I can completely see it. You're in your office. You've gotten your morning instruction. Your
Trying
boss
to go
says
home.
you're gonna. Or whatever, you're gonna. Your
Yeah,
boss says
it
we're
was
gonna.
like a shift change. Or
We're
something.
gonna
Right.
and then like you're having a chat. You're drinking your coffee with your buddy Bob, and you're checking about the recent sporting sports ball event, and then suddenly without even looking at it, you accidentally click the wrong link, and I could complete, and so I completely see how it happened because it was for a system that's intended to be so important, it needs serious redesign.
No UX on
yes.
that one.
That's
I think,
no UX.
I think Colbert made the best joke about that because I guess the guy who made the mistake was reassigned, and then Colbert said, "No, that's the one guy who will never make that mistake ever."
Yeah. Like exactly. Like
You're not upgrading your system anytime soon, and he knows what he fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy will be terrified to ever make that. There's no way he will screw it up. No, I don't agree with that. That guy shouldn't be kept in the chair. You paid the training price for him. Keep him in the chair.
It's a sunk cost now.
It's a sunk cost. Yes, it absolutely
You
is.
made it to rank 2. Congratulations.
Yeah. Man. But yeah, no,
No
like
one's ever got this far. It's so weird.
Ready Player 2.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of those threads, and it's like, oh my gosh, man! I can only imagine like how families must have felt. What I think, I think where the biggest props have to be given is, believe it or not, is to the actual cellular telephone companies that their entire network didn't crash with the amount of people sending communicative messages to one another. That messages actually got out,
Especially on islands in the middle of the Pacific.
Exactly.
That's actually.
Touche.
For once, AT&T, Verizon, they get props.
Yeah, I have to give it because I mean, come on, everybody. That's exactly what everyone did.
Of course. Well, the other thing that they did was they stopped going to Pornhub. They, literally at that
How
point,
many babies are there going to be in 9 months?
less than nice.
Yeah.
I
It
just
can't be
thought about that.
Can't be 9 months because Trump said that it should be illegal that all states have children at 9 months.
What?
Yeah, I'll bring that up in a second.
Yeah.
That's a great clip too. No, but the Pornhub saw at the worst between the 45 minutes a 77% drop in their traffic
In Hawaii?
In Hawaii during that break.
At
They
8
should
o'clock in the
sue that
morning.
guy.
At 8:23, 77% at 8:23. Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
They,
I love how Pornhub has become the metric. You can really tell what's going on in the world.
It's got the pulse,
Yeah.
if you will.
It's the next Twitter.
That's what you. They
That's why it's so family friendly.
Yeah.
Bring it all in.
They I think it was the Onion or Clickhole, and one of them was like area man still furious, Hawaii area man still upset that he had to tell his loved ones that he cared about them before he found out it was a hoax.
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Apparently NORAD knew like at 3 minutes that it was fake.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
took Hawaii
Well,
like
and so
an
that
hour.
wouldn't
Yeah,
that,
because it's not a federal
so that
system.
raises that
Right.
raises a question, is it? And I would like to think what comes out of this is that it becomes a more widely controlled system because NORAD, if they knew it was wrong, should have been able to send a counter alert to Hawaii
Someone
immediately.
should've.
Like the fact that it was only controllable from within, that kind of bothers me. I think
I guess the problem was that they figured out that Hawaii figured out pretty soon that they fucked up, but they just didn't know how to say that because they never trained on how to cancel that.
Yeah, there's no undo. There's no just
Right.
kidding text message button to send.
Yeah, not as easily as
there are not
another
enough
scroll down.
emojis in the world to be able to fix that mistake.
Yeah.
Poop.
Suicide. News.
Eggplant squirt.
No. After 823, no eggplant squirt. Not until the alert came back up. Yeah.
What was your 9 months thing? That let's close with that.
Yeah, sure. So the 9 months thing is this very funny video Trump did recently. It's hilarious. There's a pro-life rally that happens, I guess, like yearly on the White House lawn or somewhere near
March
the White
for
House,
Life,
March
yeah.
for Life, whatever. And Trump decided to
Video conference.
to do a
in.
speech, the video conference. No, he stood out front and did a speech, and
Right now, in a number of states, the laws allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month. It is wrong. It has to change. Right now, in a number of states, the
One more
laws
time.
allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month.
he stares at the camera when he says
It
that.
is wrong. It has to change.
So either you can't have babies in September ever again.
Or never have children ever. I love that because I brought this to Matt's attention last night. What I love about this is how inclusive it is. He makes sure to say his or her mother's womb. I mean, good. We're talking about gender finally, or whatever. But like,
Well, then if that's the case,
this
that's
just
not
fucks everything up. I mean, you guys know what he's talking about, right? That he fucked up.
Well, he's trying to say that
Partial
there's
birth abortion.
Partial birth
third
abortion.
trimester
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, third trimester stuff. And then he just flubs it so much, and then again, grammatically, accidentally
Babies
says
being born at 9 months is so bad.
that in the 9th month, like that,
Like
literally
when they normally come.
in September. No, in September, no children. You know,
If you- both ways.
both ways. Yeah. It's
On many
only
sides.
3 more years. You know,
I mean, it's just a typo. Everyone knew what he meant.
it's a mouth typo. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink.
A taco.
I know that's my biggest
If
problem.
he drank, I'd be like, hey, he's drunk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I said the same thing with Bill Clinton.
He
Get him a blowjob, whatever.
Corpseman, 53rd state. We can do this all day. when you talk all day, you're gonna have typos. Whatever.
Corpseman? Like,
Yeah.
What is?
No,
Speaking of typos.
Obama said corpseman. All the Navy corpsemen.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
I don't. Oh, I didn't even. I've never heard that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
but
totally
I mean,
different. though.
I know there's a better example, but I appreciate the because there are examples for sure.
I get it. Like I can laugh at it, but like I think we all know he didn't actually mean no babies can be born in 9 months.
No, of course.
Right.
But
I mean, it's funny.
No, but the other flub is that he's literally thinking that partial birth abortions is a thing. Ostensibly, he's the best person in the
There's
country.
like 3 or 4 things wrong with that whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he's talking to those people who believe that's a thing. And says, like, it
Babies are
should be.
born at 9 months. It needs to be stopped.
It's illegal in every state. You cannot have a 1 minute before birth abortion.
No.
Yeah.
That's called birth.
That's called birth. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. Give me an example. No. You want to say something?
I mean, I'm not familiar with every state's laws. I know that the
they
guy
make that illegal because it's really stupid.
Gosnell got in trouble for doing just that, and there are people that absolutely advocate for it. So I mean, that part is true.
No. He's it's abortions versus forcing labor because the baby's going to die or it's going to complicate the pregnancy. Not just, hey, go down on the court. What he's talking about is the people who think you can just go down to the local CVS or whatever, the Rite Aid, and say, like, can I have an abortion? I'm tired of being on my feet all day. Like, or my back hurts because I've been 9 months pregnant and I don't want to do this anymore. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about the sane people or the people who have medical emergencies. He's talking about the people who literally, the same fucking group of people who think that abortion is another form of birth control. instead of a very, very painful and excruciating mentally, emotionally, and physical thing that women have to go through when they decide to. Then they can use it as birth control all they want. It's also awful. If you've known anyone who's ever had an abortion, like, it's not fun. It's not like hey, what are you going to do this weekend? I was thinking about just having an abortion. You know, like, it's not that fucking easy. It's painful and emotionally draining and awful. And to say, like, go 9 months and say, like, I don't want it anymore. Like, no one actually can do that legally. You know, you cannot have a medical procedure unless it's actually going to damage. Unless you can fake it. I mean, people can fake anything, I guess. So,
Okay.
No, Trump,
I'll
provide
no,
me.
no, no, no.
Provide me
I will.
evidence.
I will.
Because
I will do some ohms butting on that.
I'd love to hear it, honestly, because
This fourth segment got dark there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't mean to
happens.
take it down that road.
Toast.
Hey.
to
Matt,
darkness.
Yeah, to the
baby's
dark.
in the 9th month.
It's coming back out of darkness.
Embrace the darkness.
This is the wrong time to do that.
He was born in the darkness
Yeah.
in the 9th month.
In the 9th month.
But was he the seventh son of a seventh son?
Or son of a sailor.
Did he
Or
have
the
the mask on?
or
When
was he a
came
son of
out?
a
His
preacher
poor
man?
mother.
Oh, what's going on? I'm scared, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Matt, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Love you so
You're
much.
welcome.
You're always
Yeah,
much fun. Chris, thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Always.
Always much fun. Dylan, thanks for coming on the show.
Yay!
If you like the show, you want to know more about the show, you can go to drunkcastlive.com. It's drunkcastlive.com. Sign up for a newsletter. You can get some information about stuff we didn't cover in the blog post or the Facebook post or whatever. Anything that we would like to cover more, or maybe things you'd be interested in. Whatever. Go sign up for it. It's pretty cool. We have a Threadless page too, contentpending.threadless.com, where you can buy, really anything that your little heart desires with some of the icons that we have for the show and some of the paintings and pictures that Adam McWatters has set up for us, especially the 3 Pence Moon shirt, which is fucking amazing. What else we got? We got Facebook.com/DrunkcastLive. You can find us on Facebook. You can at DrunkcastLive on Twitter. DrunkcastLive Pics, PICS on Instagram. Those are all places where you can consume us in a social media. We can go to any place a podcast are found. You can go to iTunes, though, specifically, to fill out some comments and give us some ratings so we can figure out what we're doing right or what we're doing wrong. That's the bread and butter of the podcast community. Somehow, still fucking Christ. But you can also go Google Play, Stitcher. You can ask your Alexa. Smart speakers, I guess, is what they're called. Like you can ask your smart speaker to, play Drunkcast Live podcast, and that will work.
It will.
It's pretty fucking cool.
That actually is cool.
Yeah, I like that
I
a
didn't
lot.
know that.
No, it's
I'll do that when I'm just doing the dishes or whatever, and just want to listen to my voice a little bit more.
I get it.
It's the only way I get an erection. You can also 802-359-7468. That's 802-359-SHOT. That's a phone number you can call or text, and you can leave us your interesting voicemails or text with your interesting concepts or very wrong opinions. Questions at drunkcastlive.com if you live in a cave and still have dial-up. I don't know. And I think that's it. And love you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
To let you know what the deal is.
If you were to pick a comic book source material to be made into a movie that hasn't been done yet, what would it be?
Oh, I guess I'd be Plastic Man just so I can get over how much they fucked it up.
Okay.
That's a better answer than I would have expected.
Content pending.